Hello, everybody. My name is Chelsea, and I'm sorry, you're gonna have to pardon the little recording thing there. My name is Chelsea, and I'm doing my presentation on CHISPA, Community Housing Improvement Systems and Planning. Let's move on. So, a little bit about me. I am a kinesiology major, obviously. Junior status, I was born and raised in the eastern Sierra Nevada mountain range of California. Um, I've been living in Monterey for 4 years. Over there to the right is me and my roommate in my hometown. I absolutely love the outdoors and I love being active, and I'm passionate about spreading my love to everybody else and getting everybody in the community healthy and in nature. So, Chispa, their mission statement is to improve people's lives and create healthy neighborhoods by developing, selling, owning, and managing affordable homes. They are established in 1980. They are a community-based nonprofit organization designed to develop affordable housing in low-income communities in the Monterey, Santa Cruz, and San Benito counties. They do so much more than just provide affordable housing. They provide on-site services for the residents, after-school programs and luncheons for senior citizens. They provide scholarships and take kids on field trips, Zumba classes, and so much more. They really are about creating communities. Okay, moving on. So the main office in Chispa is located in Salinas, 295 Main Street. It's right there on the road, real easy to get to, lots of parking, really obvious to see, and you can just walk right in and ask for an application. Over there are some of the maximum rates for housing, but for the most part, their policy is to take a third of the total income of the house. So not just of one person, but if two people, a third of it. So they really just try to do their best to offer it to everyone. And then over there, I just kind of restated that they include recreational and educational programs, and they have partnerships with the YMCA and Big Sur Land Trust, and also work with senior citizens, not just low-income households. Okay, so I did my service learning hours in Soledad, California. It's about 49 miles south on the 101 outside of Monterey. It is home to Monterey County wine region. It is also part of the quote Salad Bowl region, which is mostly Salinas Valley, so lots of agriculture there. It's right next to Pinnacles National Park. There's also the Salinas Valley State Prison. So therefore, all these aspects kind of make up most of the economy and employment in Soledad. The major wineries in the area are Kendall Jackson, Hahn Winery, Scheid Winery, some pretty big names, really large wineries, employ hundreds of people. Lots of people in agriculture. You'll see people in the fields doing long hours, not making a lot of money. And then, of course, the state prison also is a primary employer. Okay, here are some facts about Soledad. The population is about 25,738 according to the 2010 census. It was founded in 1971 as the 13th mission in California by the Spanish. I believe the mission here is called Of Her Lady Solitude, hence the name Soledad is solitude in Spanish. Something interesting I found out is that it's actually the backdrop to John Steinbeck's novel Of Mice and Men, which I think we all had to read in high school. So some of the demographics in Soledad, it's about 58.6 Hispanic, 31.9% white, 1% Black or African American, 2.4% Asian, 1.9% Filipino, 1.7% American Indian, and 0.2% Chinese. I couldn't find any health statistics on Soledad primarily. I was able to find that about 25.1% of adults in Monterey County as a whole are obese, and 19.3 of 2 to 4-year-olds and 24.2 of 5 to 19-year-olds of low-income children are obese. So there is like a correlation between how much money is coming into the house and what kind of food you're getting, that is making kids in this area gain weight. As far as education goes, in the town of Soledad, 53% are high school graduates, 23% have a bachelor's degree. So about half are finishing high school, and then only 30% of that are then going up to higher education, which isn't terrible. It's not the greatest for a town of 25,000. So, it'd be nice to see a bit more education in the town. Moving on. So, why Chispa is necessary? Um, the median household income is 46,000, which is not very much yearly for a home of 4 or 5 people in the house. Like, especially here in California, it costs a lot of money to rent or own. Per capita, a person is making about $9,000, which yearly again is not very much money to feed a family on. 20% of the population is living in poverty. Chispa offers applications to all residents regardless of their legal status. Also provides access to healthcare and childcare. So they really try to provide a community and services to the whole family. They tackle every issue that comes into part of not making a lot of money and trying to help the families as a whole get coverage. So that's why they're necessary. I think it's a really positive thing. Here's just a little screenshot of where I worked, 438 Bonita Street. As you can see, there's not really much around. There's not like bus stops or even like grocery stores or necessarily even parks nearby. So as far as like the accessibility goes of like the townhomes and just stuff for the kids to get involved in, is, I would say, it's lacking. It's something, just a critique I noticed from spending time there. I just felt like the kids could use more access to more fun things. But moving on. So my role, I worked with the kids in the townhomes in Soledad. Chispa subcontracted to the YMCA to run the summer program, so we would organize activities for the kids in the townhomes. Mostly arts and crafts. We'd sometimes get outside and run around and play, drink some water. We'd walk around and talk to the parents, introduce myself, hand out permission slips to take them to field trips to Toro Park, Dennis the Menace Park, and other places. I wanted to take them to the pool in King City. That'd be fun to take them swimming, but we didn't have the resources for that. Some of the things I encountered was a little bit of ableism. There was one kid who had Down syndrome, and in the playground there was a profanity directed towards him written on the playing equipment. So that was heartbreaking, and we, tried to rub it off and talk to the kids about being more respectful and understanding that, some people are different and they still are human and deserve our love and respect, just like we would require of anyone else, kind of golden rule standard. There was also a little bit of weightism. Definitely a lot of the residents in the townhome were overweight and obese, and the kids would say remarks such as like, oh, so-and-so's fat. So we would just kind of talk to them again and say, like, you shouldn't make judgments on other people's appearances. I tried not to lecture too much because these are kids and I'm not trying to be their parent or teacher, but I would just try to at least let them know. Some other social injustices I found was just like a lack of resources and funds. There was a little bit of discrepancy between the two companies. Chispa was paying YMCA to get the supplies to the kids, but somehow there was like a middleman that wasn't getting the supplies to the kids, and it was just a conflict I overheard between the two companies. So that was unfortunate to see. As well as I mentioned before, there wasn't really very much like transportation or really too much like city colleges or higher education for kids to kind of grow into, and museums and other cultural things I would like to see provided for the kids so they have a little bit more well-rounded of an experience. So yeah, these are just some pictures of my time at the townhomes. So that's Jackie to the left, she's painting, and then that's myself and Jorge and Anna. Jorge was the kid with Down syndrome. He was a lot of fun, and Anna was my site supervisor. I spent a lot of time with her. So here are the questions I asked for my interview. I asked a woman who worked at Chispa her name and position, if she was raised in Soledad, how long she's worked for Chispa, her thoughts about the community, if she feels that Chispa's been a positive force, her favorite program offered by Chispa, and in her opinion, if there's any way that Chispa can improve on how they serve their community. Here's where her answers. Her name is Cynthia. She's the resident manager for 438 Benito Street Townhomes. Yes, I was born and raised. I've been working in the townhomes for 8 years in October. Wow. I think it's a really great place to live. We have great access to agriculture and fresh food. However, I would like it to see easier access to a better education and transportation to the schools on the peninsula so families can break the cycle and move forward with a better education. I would say yes, as far as Chispa being a positive force in the community, because they offer plenty of affordable housing and they are flexible and understanding about the wages of field workers and low-income families. This site specifically accepts field workers, but other sites may work with other low-income households. For example, a 3-bedroom here goes for $9.95, which is the maximum rent, or it's a third of whatever the total income is. Not all properties have programs, but the ones that do, I think it's great that they provide after-school programs for the kids. Some sites offer music classes. At the senior citizen centers, they offer Zumba classes, free lunches for seniors, and computer classes. They offer a bunch of neat services. I think they do a pretty good job covering the bases. The only thing I would like to see improvement on is more housing for senior citizens in South County. For example, we have only one senior housing site here in Soledad. Because they only have one here, they have a huge waiting list. So that was some really awesome insight from Cynthia, someone who works for Chispa. It sounds like she really enjoys her jobs here and loves her community and thinks that Chispa and the townhomes are a positive thing. So that concludes my presentation. There are my sources, and I just want to say a big thank you to Daisy and Anna, who I worked with primarily through the Y, and Liliana and Cynthia, who I worked with through Chispa. And I'm going to miss all my time with the kids. Hope to stay in touch. Thank you guys very much.